are 10,000 Alcoholics Anonymous groups throughout the world, and in those groups, 285,000 people identify themselves as alcoholics. And out of all these people being treated for alcoholism, 80 to 90% will relapse, even after years of abstinence. What's even sadder is about 100,000 people die each year from this disease, and there are about 18 million current alcohol abusers out there at this very moment. Today, I am going to lead you through the most important things that take place in an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting. I've been researching this topic for a few weeks now, but I also have personal experiences of actually going to meetings with my brother, who is a recovering alcoholic. Chances are, a few of you may know a thing or two about Alcoholics Anonymous. Maybe a family member or a friend is a recovering alcoholic, or maybe you may even be one yourself. This program was started in 1935 in Akron, Ohio by a stockbroker named Bill W. This is Bill W. right here. Bill W. decided to listen to a doctor's theory on how alcoholism works and how it can be solved. Dr. William Silkworth told Bill his theory was that alcoholics had an allergy to alcohol and the only known cure is to stop drinking. But Bill W. decided that solution wasn't enough. People needed support, and they needed to know they're not alone during these rough times. So he came up with the idea of Alcoholics Anonymous meetings and spread word of it around town. And slowly but surely, the group grew, and it became so successful that there is a meeting in just about every town in the United States. Today I'll discuss how people end up getting into Alcoholics Anonymous, the types of meetings there are, and what motivational tools are used to help an alcoholic stay sober. First thing I would like you to know about is how people wind up in the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous. Alcoholism is medically considered a disease, and the only known cure to this disease is to stop drinking. My brother once said, it's a scary concept to stop drinking when all you do is drink all day, every day, to the point where you don't eat anymore, and your meals are alcohol. And that's your only source of food. So usually alcoholics only begin attending meetings when they've hit rock bottom, enter a rehab facility, or move into a recovery home. These places require you to attend a meeting every day. Another place that requires you to attend a meeting every day is a courthouse. Judges love to send people with DUIs to meetings to try and teach them a lesson. These people get a court card that has to be signed by that meeting secretary at every single meeting. And sometimes these people who are sent there for DUIs actually get a message, and they continue going on to meetings even after it is no longer required. A rare few alcoholics do enter meetings on their own if they have never been, but that's because it's really hard to get help on your own. So now that you know how people wind up in Alcoholics Anonymous, I'll explain to you what types of meetings there are. There are all kinds of meetings to make everyone happy. The most popular kind is open share meetings. This is where people volunteer and share how their lives are going. These types of meetings are like therapy because everyone around you is listening to you, and sometimes they might share some advice that is addressed specifically to whatever you may be going through. Sometimes men and women don't feel comfortable sharing their innermost feelings with one another, like around the same or around other genders. So they created meetings for men only and women only. And for the people who aren't bothered by gender, there are open meetings for everyone. They even have gay meetings, but these meetings usually aren't offered as much as others. Some other meetings they have are spiritual, 12-step, speech, and speaker meetings. At speaker meetings, there is a guest speaker who has had a good amount of time sober, and they share with everyone their life experience, like how they knew when they hit rock bottom, or how they relapsed and they were able to pick themselves back up and throw themselves back into the program. These types of meetings can be extra helpful when you are able to relate to the person sharing the story, because most alcoholics and addicts have gone through some of the same life experiences. So seeing how someone made it through hell and back and become a better person really does motivate people who may be currently living almost in a state of hell themselves. I've now discussed the different types of meetings there are, so I'll now discuss the tools that are used to help an alcoholic stay sober. The first step in staying sober is to get a sponsor. This is a person who has an understanding of the program and who also has a decent amount of time. Their job is to motivate you and to hold your hand every step of the way. They require you to call them every day, memorize the Serenity Prayer, which is, God, grant me the serenity to accept things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. They also have you read the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous every day, and in this book, There are several stories of alcoholics who have recovered, and it really helps because you are able to see similar experiences in this book. You know, people have gone through the same experiences and everything, so that's a good tool. And they also help you work on your 12 steps. The Serenity Prayer is recited at every meeting by everyone because they believe it's important to have a power that is higher than yourself. And typically their higher power is God, though it's not required in any way at all for him to be your higher power. The 12 steps are several journal exercises that help you understand yourself better and why you made the decisions you made. Another motivational tool is sobriety chips. I know these are small, but these are the real chips. This is a year chip, and this is a 24-hour chip. And I put the pictures on my presentation thing. These chips are handed out in the beginning of every meeting to the people who have achieved a significant amount of time sober. For the first 30 days of sobriety, it is highly recommended for the alcoholic to pick up a chip at every meeting they attend to help them get known amongst all of the members of the group. The next chip is a 30-day chip, then the 60, and then the 90. And after that, they only hand out chips every third month until you hit your year of sobriety. And after that, they only hand out chips for every year you get sober. When you hit a year of sobriety, it is considered your birthday because the day you quit drinking was the day you were reborn again. So every month a cake is bought, and all the people are brought up to the front of the room, and happy birthday is sung to them. Another motivational tool AA uses are holiday parties and dances. They figure it's safer to spend the holidays with sober friends than with people who might influence you to have a drink. So today I talked about how people end up in Alcoholics Anonymous, the types of meetings that are available, and what type of motivational tools are used to help an alcoholic remain sober. As you can see, alcoholism is a very hard addiction to overcome, and not everyone who enters the program makes it. Alcoholism is a lifetime battle, and it never just goes away. That's why it's important to go to meetings and to take one day at a time. Thank you.
So Michael, what did you think?
The intro was really good because it started off with the facts, which leads to your presentation of AA. And then also I was trying to wait for the preview. It was kind of late into the speech, I would think. There was a lot of facts before the preview, and the transitions were good, especially with and your good points for explaining you have a personal experience. And the only thing I would say is at times it feels rushed, but it was really good. And you had more than one visually the book, so that was good.
Okay. I had very much the same kind of comment about the preview. It seemed like it came a little bit late in the process, but you did a good job setting up what you were going to talk about, giving us a reason to listen, kind of creating a justification and a personal relationship with the subject matter. So I thought that that was a good setup. I just thought if I knew a little bit more about where we were going earlier, I'd have felt more comfortable. But when you got there, it was very clear that you know what the preview was. I do think you need to cite the sources for your supporting material a little bit more. I thought you had a lot of explanations. It's ambitious to the stuff that you're trying to cover and the amount of time that you have available. So that's a little bit of a problem, and that's partially why it sounds rushed. That and your delivery, because you also are speaking a little quick, and part of that's probably because you have so much to get in, and some of it might be a little bit of anxiety, just trying to get through it as quickly as possible. So the combination of those two things, I think, undermines a little bit of the presentation. The definitions that you gave us I thought were pretty clear. It's very well organized and easy to follow, so there's no problems there. On the visuals, a couple of things are a little small on the poster board that you've got there. The chips, I thought that it was nice to have the visual objects there. You didn't need the little pictures on the poster board since you had the objects. That was fine. Some more reference to what goes on with the book might have been helpful. And again, you had some good statistical information in the opening. That might have been something that could have worked as a visual too. All right.